You don't have to.
I'm panicking.
All right. Okay, everybody, you have to be very, very gentle. Be gentle. Be gentle with us.
Nah.
Okay. I'm gonna be. This is the first time. So that's what we got. The touching. There we go. Hey. All right.
It's my Jeff Lewis signature.
All right. Can you guys hear us? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear us, please. It would be very nice if you would help us out because I've never done this like this before.
Nobody in the chat.
Oh, there is. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Let's see. No, you're not. Jesus Christ. The question's already there. Okay, good. Everybody can hear us. Good. Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hey. Okay. So, and I just for just to test, I want to make sure that we can all hear. Everybody can hear this stuff. I think we can hear this, right? Can you guys hear that music? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear the music. I'm trying to play it through the computer. I'm not sure if it's coming through. Okay, good. All right, excellent. All right. Sorry, I have to do sound checks here because
This is our first time.
I've never done. Yeah, this is our first time dealing with this here. All right. Let me grab this, and I'm running this from my laptop, so I don't know too much about this. Oh, let me see. There you go. Okay, so if you want to mug to the camera, that's right. To play to the camera.
Oh God. Okay.
I know you guys have not been on camera. Okay. So they can't hear. Okay, good enough. All right, so here's the deal. Hi, welcome to the first. I guess this is our first Q&A live stream. We wanted to do like live stream in here to like just do performance kind of stuff. Like once we get things back up and running once again. We have been recording. When did we start recording?
In May, actually.
May.
Yeah. First started recording.
All right. Let's see if I can bring this up here a little bit. I don't know if there we go. I think this will work better if we just do like this.
We're done in July.
That's right.
All right.
We're waiting until we get our stuff back.
Okay, so first off, what is your name and what do you do in the band?
I'm Livy, and I'm the singer/screamer.
And you also write lyrics.
Yeah,
You're
do
also
write
the
the lyrics.
songsmith as well. Yes. Okay.
Well, Rolo helps too.
Yes.
So
I'm CJ. I write lead guitar.
CJ is the genius. CJ's like an alien. Okay.
I write a lot of the music.
He's our alien and our resident alien.
I'm Steve, and I play drums.
Yep.
I hit things.
He hits things, and we should go and have a look at your beautiful set here after a while. And of course, you know who I am already. I'm the rhythm guitarist, and I help write a bit too. I add things. I embellish. I'm the lead embellisher. So this is our third EP. Yep. And okay, so how long have we been together? What, 3 years now? When did I join? I joined like in October of 2019, I think.
I joined in February of 2019, I think.
I'm the first one who posted on Craigslist, and then Steve joined.
And then I joined. And then, yeah.
Then
it
I
just
joined.
kind of came together.
Mm-hmm.
A million tryouts, and here we are.
Nice. Okay, so I think maybe a sort of a get to know you kind of thing. Like how long have you been singing? Like when did you start singing? What made you want to be a singer? Who made you want to be a singer?
Oh God, I wasn't ready for that kind of a question. I've been singing since I was a little kid. I think I remember first singing to like Amy Lee from Evanescence, but also a really big Iron Maiden fan as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So, but around the time I was a teenager, about 15, 16 years old, I started getting into heavier stuff. Lamb of God, Cradle of Filth, I don't know. Just tried a bunch of different vocal styles and just kept playing around with it.
Mm-hmm.
That just kind of came together, I guess.
And CJ, you come from kind of like a musical family, though, don't you? Does your dad play guitar?
Yeah, the reason I play guitar is because of my great grandfather and my dad. Yeah, My dad's a singer though, so he sang in like a 80s.
And what kind of music was he into?
Hair metal.
Hair metal.
Hair metal.
And how long you been playing?
Since I started like finger style guitar whenever I was 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then so would you say that your dad was like an influence on your musical like you wanting to become a guitarist or player?
Yeah.
To play in general?
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And then you just kind of fell in love with the instrument?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Steve, how long have you been playing drums?
I actually haven't been playing drums that long. I started with bass when I was 15, and then switched over to drums. Probably, I want to say 12 or 13 years ago.
Mhm.
So I haven't actually been playing my whole life.
Mhm.
I've been playing music my whole life, but not drums.
You like when I joined the band, because I've been playing since I was about 13 years old. And of course, I wanted to say I'm like in your dad's genre of music, right? I was all about that back in the day. I'm originally from Pasadena, California, so you have to be into Eddie Van Halen because you are, officially required to do that. They have a Van Halen course in high school when you're in Pasadena. So.
Okay.
Kidding. But I was in the really kind of the 80s metal scene, but more towards the late 80s, really like 88, 89, 90 is when I started playing out in the clubs and stuff like that.
They started getting a little
And
thrashier.
Yeah.
You played bass too, right?
I started out with bass, and then I have a love for anything that's like sort of stringed instrument, So like if you listen to the intro to Phoenix, like I played a Irish bouzouki on that. I didn't even know what a bouzouki was before. That's that same year. It's like the same year I bought a bouzouki. So, but I have a Middle Eastern, like a Turkish oud now. I just like tooling around with stuff like that.
Do we have questions?
Yeah, we got plenty of questions. Oh, and by the way, if you guys come up with super chats, all super chats will go to pay the rent for this place right here. So contribute, and we pay a good chunk of change for this place. So. Let's see. Oh, nice. Okay. So Lord Venom says he bought all 3 EPs yesterday and loved all the songs. Can you please release the outro song for your stream? I will. Trust me, that's on we're working on that one for the next EP. We'll happily pay $5 for it. Thank you. On Gumroad. Perfect workout song. Doesn't need vocals at all. Love you, Rolo. Thank you very much, Lord Venom. And thanks for buying all 3 of the EPs.
Yeah, thank you.
And then let's see. Ziknas from Norway says, if you guys ever decide to tour Norway, it'd be awesome to share the stage with y'all. P.S. Cool Jeff Loomis signature Jackson. Is that what we're playing?
Yes.
Is that what we're playing today?
That's what I'm playing.
Yes. Oh, and how did you customize this just recently? This is
I
that's
didn't
the other
customize
one.
I put some bare knuckle pickups in my other guitar.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with bare knuckle.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that like CJ and I share is we have a love for like tinkering with guitars and like building stuff and messing with stuff and screwing things up.
Speak for yourself on that.
Yeah. Well, me in particular. Let's see. Like everybody loves us. Okay. Rusty says singer screamer, awesome voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, gotta give you the props. Oh, okay. And so we have to answer. Oh, I knew this question was going to come. Okay. So who plays bass for us?
It's Jim Bass.
We have a genie.
So
the genie's right over here. He's invisible.
I write all the music for the bass over MIDI, and then we use a plugin for that.
Yeah. So because we have had real struggles trying to find a bass player, I think over the years for 3 years.
Our struggles started when we were actually trying to find a rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
We literally tried out dozens of rhythm guitarists, got just sick to death of actually trying people out, and then finally Rolo came along, and here we are.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, we should tell the story about that because I remember when I came in here and I think it was just you and Jimmy and you were here and I was playing. I thought, oh man, I screwed the pooch. I'm never gonna be good enough to play in this and with these guys. And then you called me up like a week afterwards and said, hey, we want you to come back down again because I think you were out of town. Mm-hmm. And so they wanted you to meet me and see if there was like some potential there. And I guess you guys saw some potential, and there was because now here we are, 3 EPs later.
I want to tell them about the other call with you about Rolo wasn't thinking he was going to be able to do this. Like he literally was talking about quitting the band and saying, no, I don't want to do this. And then I called him up and said, no, I think you can do it. You just got to put your mind to it.
Yeah.
And push through.
Use a metronome.
And use a
metronome. I will say that I never used a metronome before this band. Yes. Oh, because I come from a different era, I guess, of music, and it's like I've always been like sort of the kind of guy who like plays with, to the feel of the music rather than like the metronome to the beat, to become more technical about things. And I will say this, that right there sort of put me in the frame of mind where I'm like, either I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to do this, or I'm not going to do it at all. And then, so when I said yes, like I committed myself to learning all the first 4 songs anyways, which was, that was a learning curve, man. I mean, you and I sat in this place and just like grinded until I could get this
extra hard.
Well, I had to apply myself, because it's like, it's one of those things where, I don't know, I'm not making any money off of this. it's like a personal like challenge kind of thing. Like, can I like grow? Can I be something different more than I was at that time? And you really helped me do that. Well, of course you do too, but of course you broke my hands and let them re-heal again, because I don't know if you guys know that he's got orangutan hands, and I like doing the stretch is like really tough for me. Yes. No, I don't have arthritis. Thank you. Because I know the arthritis jokes are going to come.
Oh yeah.
I do.
Yeah. But I had to fundamentally relearn how to play my instrument, and fundamentally learn how to play like a new style of music, I guess. And I think probably the biggest compliment you ever gave me was, you're a professional musician now. And I was like, oh, thank you.
I think taking you to a different level was more of the words that I would use, because literally you're at one level when you're just jamming, standing in a garage, and then when you actually want to record and put something out that other people are going to actually go and consume and listen to all the time, you need to be at that other level. You need to make sure that you're in time, that you're in key, that you're not doing all of the stuff that you hear when you just walk out and walk into a bar and somebody's karaoke. Yeah,
that was the first thing you guys saw. I think maybe it was you. Like, we're not a garage band. We're like a professional. We want real professional musicians here who are going to be here on time and are going to do the work and be dedicated to that. And I think the sort of the proof is, of course, the end result of being here we are 3 EPs later.
And you can tell after probably the first 2 weeks that you were at home and you were practicing all the time. And then you would come in and I would bust your balls and say, hey, are you practicing that with a metronome? And you would go, yes. And I do this 2 or 3 times. And you told me, your regiment and all of that.
I actually bought a drum set so I could learn like polyrhythms. I had no idea what a polyrhythm was back then. I know they are now. Yeah.
And that's all CJ writes in his
in fact, I wanted to talk about that too, because CJ doesn't write in just straight up 4/4s. And
I mean, you have to think of between the beats. Like, I mean, whenever you practice with a metronome, you kind of help yourself identify that stuff. I don't know. You sound like everybody else if you're going 1, 2.
Yeah, I because that was one of the first things I had to sort of like wrap my head around, because it's almost like jazz, like time signatures and stuff like that. We're doing, like, if for instance the intro or the very first part of Phoenix is in 5/4. 5, what the hell is 5/4? And then we move into 4/4 later, but then I'm like, yeah, easy, count to 5, right? Yeah, but that's like how you like think when it comes to music. Like, you don't think like 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, go. Bum, 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 bum.
I don't even think he writes like that anyway. I'm more of the person that writes like, I want to try a new rhythm. I want to try a new time signature. He writes in, I really like how this sounds.
Yeah, like,
and let's see where it
head
goes.
And then just kind of put it on.
How did you guys meet?
We actually met on Craigslist.
Really?
Yeah.
And we just clicked. We lived a block or 2 blocks from each other.
Yeah. Really? And that was when you guys were out in
Fernley.
Yeah, exactly. And then you answered a Craigslist thing? How did you guys meet?
I answered a Craigslist ad, but the fun part was I sent a song to CJ for them to listen to, and he invited me in to try out for the band. And when I walked in, Steve was there. But Steve and I go back further. I was about 22 at the time, so about 7, almost 8 years ago now. We were in the first band I was ever in. Steve was the drummer there, and we had a bassist at the time who was also in that prior band. So I walked in. They gave me the address, and I immediately knew where it was. And then I walked in, and I'm like, "Wait, I know this studio."
They're like, "Don't tell her."
Yeah, it was a great surprise, but they still made me try out. So, but I got in.
What song did you try out?
I did the Diva Dance aria from the Fifth Element. The opera singer I usually listen to, her name is, hopefully I'm not butchering it, is Inva Mula Chaco. And I sang a song from the band Ginger, and I want to say it was I Speak Astronomy or Pisces.
I think it was Pisces.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
Oh, this is a really good one. Hey, Blue Pill Unplugged says, is there, let me put it on the screen here. Is there ever a struggle between what you want to write creatively versus what you think will be popular? How do you handle that conflict?
So
We write what we like.
I don't
care.
There is no conflict.
I'm glad that everybody loves what we do, but I don't think that we write based on a focus of what everyone's going to love. We write what we love, and then we push it out there and hope that there's like-minded people.
I mean, if we wanted to play popularity music, we'd play pop.
Yeah.
We're already in.
We'd be an emo band. No.
It's definitely for me, it's definitely a cathartic outlet. So, a lot of what I write is about experiences I've had or about things that I love. Like the song Slaughterhouse is about the book Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut, which is one of my favorites. I study history, so there's history behind some of our songs.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to one today. We're gonna get to one
We'll get there too,
in this album. There's one actually.
Dominic,
I just mentioned it now. Dominic.
There's a few, yeah.
Well, when we get to that song, we'll explain the background on that one. I like doing. It's just me, like as a writer myself. Everybody on the chat right now, I got 5 books out, so it's like something I do as it is. I don't think a lot of people really know that I also write lyrics and I also write creative stuff as well. Besides like more analytical, everybody thinks of me as like sort of the analytical guy. But when we were doing Phoenix, I wrote part of the lyrics for Phoenix. I wrote most of the lyrics for Dominic, although you did contribute. Everybody contributes to everything, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Lord Panic says, hey guys, I'm sending a few supers your way. We'll catch up on the stream tomorrow. Love the EP. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And he's giving me another one. Do you find it easy to come up with ideas for a song? Is it easier individually or as a group?
I would say individually and then collaboratively. So a lot of the songs are, and I'm just going to throw you under the bus, are written by him. So obviously the drums are written by me. The vocals are written by her and Rollo and everybody else that's in here. I'm not really collaborative when it comes to vocals. I'm very collaborative when it comes to drums. I know that I write stuff by myself that I actually haven't contributed to the band yet, but I will. I swear. I just haven't sent the songs in.
It took me a while. It took me a while to decide to sort of find my place here, like creatively, because when I first got here and we did the very first EP, like that was all you guys. Like everything. I mean, I added a few, I guess, rhythm, little bells and whistles. That was about it. And then I felt really like on Phoenix, I finally was doing something like creative, especially with like the intros and adding like lyrics and chugging, chug patterns and stuff on a few things. And then this one, it's like. Dominic was the song that I contributed to the band, but again, it's always like kind of a group effort. No matter what, whoever comes up with something, we still kind of like add our own sort of flavor to whoever comes up with whatever.
And that's what I meant. It's like we do it by ourselves, but then there's that collaborative effort to make it what we all want it as a group.
Yeah.
I'm about 90% individual writing.
I'm
not much of a sit down and write a song with people.
In fact, before we came over here today, I'm on the ride over here and I'm getting like messages from you and like you're texting me like links to, hey, here's this is gonna be a new song kind of thing. I'm like, all right.
The first 2 EPs for me, I had a lot of lyrics from when we had our old band, and like even some poetry that I'd written that immediately, like with Slaughterhouse, it was originally a poem I was writing, and it just fit so perfectly, and it was almost easy to add those extra verses and lyrics to it. But then there's some songs where I was just stumped, and it took me a hot while to get everything together, or I was just calling you up like, Rollo, I need your help.
What can we do
I need some creative I don't know.
When we were doing Phoenix, it was like I got the feel like immediately. I was like, okay, I know where I know where we're going with this one.
Yeah.
And then there's some of them that I'm kind of like, I hope Livy has something for this because I really don't. But I think that certain songs I think like jump out at me, like on this latest album. Of course, Dominic was my own thing, but But like I Remain, this was the first song on the EP. Holy shit, man. I mean, that was like that right there, like the chorus part of that. I'm like, we got to do something. We have something with this one. Then there's other songs like, Phoenix was one of them. Also, I think the Suffering was a really, I think it was a really popular one. It was good. I can understand why it would be easy to write to certain songs. Yeah. And then I also got, I guess, confession time. We always do a spooky forest or a spooky song. We always do like a haunted mansion song. Yes. So that
I'm down for it.
On this EP, the spooky song is The Silence. Now, what was the inspiration for The Silence?
An episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think it was like season 4, episode 10, Hush. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a Buffy fan. I'm kind of a nerd.
So when you heard that song, you like immediately said,
"Oh
yeah."
Buffy I kind of had this idea of like when I heard it, I just kind of had this idea of like these monsters, and I was kind of thinking of The Silence from Doctor Who because I'm also that kind of a nerd. But then the episode from Buffy the Vampire Slayer popped into mind, so I quickly sat down and watched it. And by the time the episode was over, I'd had the lyrics written. So. That was that one's Silence. So
okay, and then here's another one. How do you know a song or your part of a song is complete? Is less really more? Is less really more?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, whenever you think that you just like, I mean, whenever I'm writing a song, it doesn't sound good. It's good. Like, if it sounds not necessarily good, it sounds okay, I'll try to add something to it. And if that doesn't make it sound good, I'll delete it and then move on. And then
what's our longest
controversial
song?
Right?
What's the song that we have that has the longest time?
Probably 4 minutes or so.
4 minutes?
Yeah.
So we're not doing like epic 6-minute songs or anything like that.
No, because then you're basically combining 2 songs into one. I mean, yeah, it's just not my writing style. I don't think it's anybody here's writing style
like that either.
Like
when mine are 4 minutes. If we pushed 5 minutes, that seems like an epic song.
That'll be new for us if we do that. But not saying we won't. But
we're not capable, because we're definitely capable of doing it. But I think it's just our writing style. I know we enjoy listening to music that's like that, like Dream Theater and Between the Buried and Me with really long. Opeth. I'm a fan of Opeth too. Some really long songs. So.
Like when you and I were doing the creative sessions for Dominic, like. I almost wanted to make it longer, but then I'm like, you're like, no, we're going to kill it right here. And I was like, yeah, okay, it sounds good. Because like my songs end up, like when I'm writing, it sounds like Death Angel. It sounds like, Bay Area thrash. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But those are very short songs. They're it's drive and then you're done kind of thing. So how do I know it's done? Because I don't know. In those cases, it's when it feels like it's done. Like I think some of the best thrash songs are like maybe 3 minutes long.
If it feels good, then you're good.
Yeah.
You know.
What's your favorite rhythm guitarist? Focus on theory or ear?
I focus on ear more than theory. And Keith Merrill's probably
Keith Merrill's is your favorite?
Rhythm guitarist.
Yes. Rhythm player. Oh gosh. Who's my favorite rhythm player?
Conquering Dystopia. Okay. And he does his own solo stuff.
I'm not the best with names.
He's a Jeff Loomis rhythm guitarist. So
I like the riff master guys. Like I hate to bring up Scott Ian from Anthrax, but like when it comes to like writing like solid ass grinding mid-range crunch riffs, like I don't think there's anybody better than that. I mean, it's hard to say because a lot of the guitarists that I can think of are also lead guitarists too. So it's like who's the rhythm player and stuff like that. And it's like not like I can't play solos. It's just that's my position in this band. And you're the one who this guy is a virtuoso. I don't know if anybody really realizes how much of a virtuoso this guy is. Yes. Oh, and as far as focus on theory or ear, I would say, can I say like 80% ear and then 20% focus? And the only reason I say that on theory is because I follow guys like Bernth. Or now I follow guys like Burn, or I follow guys like Shredmaster Scott, and he's a very much, he'll show you theory and how to do like inversions and things like that. So lately, I would say 80 on ear, maybe 20% on theory.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to know the theory, right? Like, I also have a degree in music production, so I know a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
theory.
that's right. I
But
should've said.
that stuff's always usually in the back of my mind. I'm not thinking, oh, I need to add the third because that's what needs to happen for this music to be right.
Right.
Yes.
I just
Happens
got to do
naturally.
a minor in music. That's all I got. I didn't get a degree really.
I just listen to a lot of different kinds of music. I am 100% ear, despite my years of piano lessons.
Any
Can't
tips?
read.
Any tips on planning, organization, and time management for the production of a song, especially mix downs? You should go through the process. Like Scooter does all our mix downs, right?
Yeah, so like you break it into recording, and then you break it down to mixing and then mastering. For us, you want to spend more time on probably recording than anything. I like to do drums first, and then you play everything else to the drums because, I mean, if your drums are not to everything else, then you're kind of screwed.
Something to keep in mind. Something to keep in mind is that on the EPs, you'll notice a difference in some of the sounds on the drums, because on the first 2 EPs, they're live drums. On the last EP on Origin, that's actually me on an electric kit. So it's completely different. The mix down times will be completely different, and the mastering times will be different as well. It'll be a lot quicker for everybody to just add the sound they want and continue on, instead of for this where we have to be really careful when we're doing acoustic stuff so there's no bleed throughs, etc.
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, like, now that you've done both?
I really don't.
Is one like easier or one better? Is like what's?
I don't think one's better, but I definitely say that the Alesis is easier. So if I'm on my Alesis on my electric kit, going in with him, we spent 2 hours and we were done with Origin. So I mean, we would have went in with the
Miking
kit,
up everything.
It would have been. We would have probably been there for 5 or 6, 7 hours.
Yeah, we spend like 2 to 3 hours just tuning and getting all the mics in the right spot.
So you recorded all those drums for the first 2 here.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Let's see. Let's go back here. And what are your thoughts on dynamic compression? How do you know which elements within a song need a compressor? Do you use a compressor? On your effects?
No, he's talking about with mixing. Scooter does a lot of our mixing, but I mean, if you can't keep something level throughout your song, throw a compressor on it.
Scooter at Empyrean Sound, right?
Rewire Studios.
Yeah, so we just shout out to them. Thank you.
Thank you. They're responsible for the production of certainly.
They do the mixing and mastering. But yeah, like
Rewire Studios.
Yes. Yep.
So they take care of the compression.
They do the compression.
I do a little bit of
You guys just send me the files and go, how does this sound? Great, go.
Yeah, so he does all of the pre-production stuff. Don't let him fool you. So before we actually send it off to Rewire, he does everything. And I mean everything. He records us. He goes ahead and does all the mixing. The only thing he doesn't really do is the mastering of the album.
But he did that for the first EP, right? No.
First EP we went through like 4 freaking times.
Because we
kept switching players and stuff. But either way, like all of the mixing and mastering is done by Rewire. I just do the recording and production. Production meaning like all of the extra hits or sub drops and the pianos and violin stuff like that is all done by me.
Yes.
Mixing and mastering is done by Rewire.
Yes. So, CJ he's a master of many things, but I will tell you, if you go back and you look at when did we do that? I think we were recording in May. Like, I'll come into your studio, I'll lay down the tracks, and then you take those and go from there. And that's part of the pre-production of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then you go in and you lay down your vocal tracks, and that's part of the pre-production.
I go in last.
I think the weirdest thing about Origin's production for this last one was I actually recorded everything at home. So I recorded everything and then sent it or put it in Dropbox. And then he went and grabbed it, and then I went over to his house and we did all of the pre-production stuff. It was kind of weird not having him there to say, hey, let's try this on this part. So we didn't even do any of that. There was none of that.
Yeah.
Let's see, Lord Panic again. Oh, if you use any, what's your favorite mix down synth or orchestral plugin? Didn't you just use one?
So Gravity is probably one of my favorites. They've got a lot of like hits and stabs. And then I'm trying to remember the orchestral one that I use. It's kind of spendy. I forget the name of it.
Let's see. The riffs are killer. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh man, here we go. Sorry, I don't have any sound effects here because I don't have my my Logitech board. Valhalla gave us $50. All right, Olivia, definitely badass. True compliment, not simping for you. I like Nightwish. Reminds me of them, but better. Still not simping. Any opinions on 5-string bass? I am not a musician, but I love the low notes. Jason Newstead might be available. Yeah.
Gin bass is a 5-string bass,
Yeah.
the MIDI bass. So I think because we play more 7-string and down and drop A flat, that's the way to go for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna say is I have you guys don't know this, and on my Sunday shows I have an intro song, and well, you know the intro song, right?
Yeah.
Because we're working on it. We are working on it. I swear to God, I know that question's coming. It's coming. We'll probably drop it as a single or something like that.
Yeah.
But I have an outro song that I have yet to show you guys or give to you. I was actually thinking about like putting it out as like sort of like a royalty-free kind of bumper music type stuff so people could use it. But maybe I'll just keep it for us. But I use a 5-string bass. Actually, the whole thing is pretty much a 5-string bass. So I think a lot of the like the gent style stuff or the fall style stuff is really all. It's like 5- and 6-string basses right now, right? I mean, like what's a bass pair for Trivium? He uses like a 5 or 6-string bass. I'm fairly sure. Maybe I should ask you this. What do you think of? Okay, so the maximum amount of strings on any of our guitars right now is 7. Okay,
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about going to an 8 or a 9-string? Would it make any?
I mean, like
creative difference?
I think it would make a creative difference, but for now, I'm good with 7.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't ever say no. I'm not going to do that, but for now, I'm good with 7.
The reason I ask is because I think it was Shredmaster Scott was asking me like if we used 8-string guitars. I'm like, no. I'm still trying to figure out the 7-string.
The thing about 8 and 9 is then you start going to more bass and like
really chuggy.
Yeah,
really chuggy stuff. Let's see. How can a beginner best learn the electric guitar?
Start with the metronome.
Yes.
Don't make
my mistake.
Metronome again.
My advice is to look for somebody who gives lessons. Don't try to learn by yourself. I learned a lot by myself, and I created a lot of bad habits for myself. I probably had to reteach myself 100% whenever I turned 19 because I like wiggled my thumb whenever I picked, and I gave myself a crap ton of muscle memory that was terrible. So just go get lessons from somebody who knows what they're doing. That's the best way to learn it.
A lot of my bad habits I had to unlearn in the last 3 years. Just saying. Yep. And what about vocals? Like, what do you think is the best way? Have you ever had training, like vocal training at all? You just are naturally a good singer.
Yeah, I think the closest to vocal training was watching the Melissa Crosses Out of Screaming videos. And I had like a semester of choir in high school, and it was just terrible because the teacher was actually not a choir teacher. So that was just bad. That's as close to training as I've gotten. Funny that Valhalla had mentioned Nightwish because that was one of the bands I'd really started singing to in high school to start getting more into operatics. But I also really loved like Within Temptation and a couple other bands. And I wanted to mix what I just call like cleans with operatics and screams. So that's kind of what I've been trying to go for. And
a lot of like whenever we've been on the radio shows, they have likened you to, I forget the name, Lacuna Coil.
Yeah, Christina Scavia of Lacuna Coil, which I love her too. So she's amazing.
I think you sound like Livy.
I think I sound like me too.
I know.
But
it's like,
but I won't. I can't say I don't like being compared to people, but I don't not like it because Christina Scavia is amazing.
Scavia compared to somebody bad.
I'll take the compliment. She's a wonderful singer, and I do get a lot of inspiration from her as well. I just listen to all kinds of music, like not even just metal. So
did you take lessons?
I did not. I'm all self-taught from bass all the way to drums. Drums itself was a passion to be able to complete albums for an old band.
Mhm.
So we were having problems. I actually was playing bass, and we were having problems finding a drummer.
Mhm.
And so I switched over to drums, and then we pulled somebody in and got him to play bass.
Mhm.
And it just ever since I've had a passion for drums.
I was gonna
And
say,
I
do you
have
love? Do you like to play?
I
Is
love
that your
playing.
instrument
Yeah.
now? That's it.
I think I listen to more.
Clearly, clearly it's your instrument.
It is my
Yes,
instrument.
yes.
Probably Jason Costa, Jeremy Spencer, and Chris Adler are probably my favorite drummers. There's others, and I just don't want to go through a whole list.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
literally, those three are probably
I like that question.
that I listen to most.
Oh boy, gosh, we gotta get the gear heads in here. Okay, all right. So, Rolo, please tell us about your guitars in the band. Do you prefer to play 6, 7, 8 string guitars? Tell us more about the guitar and effects setup. Well, when I came into this band, I brought in my amp is. I've always been a Randall guy, so I've always been like a Dimebag kind of sound for a very long time. I mean, like I can say, it's like Bay Area thrash is my thing. And I still use my Randalls because I love my Randalls, but the sound is now heavily modified because I used to be a pedal player. I used to use pedals all the time. I bring my pedal boards in here, and I don't know.
Now.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys don't know this, or maybe certainly the people don't know this, is that this room has really bad old wiring. So when I'm plugging in pedals and stuff, we're picking up Mexican radio stations in this place because it's like, this is an older building. And so, you got to take what you can get. But so I had, I think both of us immediately invested in clean power. So we've got our Fishman's, power conditioners are a must in this room. It gets very hot here in the summer and it gets very cold here in the winter. So we have to
now, just saying.
Yeah.
Not good with the float.
Yeah. So if you hear the fans going, it's because there's no air conditioning in this. Well, there is, but it's outside. It's not in here. It's outside in the hall.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
It's
So I had to. That was the first thing I had to fight was the 60 cycle hum from all that. And then,
nagged at by me.
And then you getting nagging the hell out of me, saying you need to get a floor pad, you need to get a floor thing. Oh no, it wasn't that. You said the first thing you told me, you was like, you need to get different speakers if we're going to play out. You need a different cabinet, right?
Yeah.
Because I was playing through those Randall Eminence, and I'm like, yeah, he's kind of right. And so I went and I bought this heavy ass like Thrasher cabinet here with it's got G12 Celestions in there, and I thought that'll hold it. Right, and then I went and I got the head, the Scott Ian triple, was it the Ultimate Rectifier head, and you were playing through the Driftwood. You're playing through the Driftwood at that time.
Purple Nightmare or Darkest Nightmare, I should say.
And then so what are you playing through now, CJ?
I'm playing through Axifex.
Yeah.
So I have one Axifex here, Axifex 3. And then I have one at home that I record with. It's a lifesaver.
Yeah, and I am playing through a Helix now because I have seen the light. It's much easier to program Helix effects and especially noise gates. Yes.
hum.
Yeah, no more hums.
It's 2022.
Yeah.
I mean, they sound
Humming sucks.
really
yes.
good. So
Yeah, and so you have one here and one at home.
Yeah.
You have two.
Yep.
I got the Helix. I still put it through my Randall, and I see the light. I don't think I've played my pedal board in probably like 2 years now. But I love my Helix, and I've been just sort of trying to make it sound. Now, of course, I've got the Helix, so all that stuff I just told you about makes no difference whatsoever to the live sound.
We keep trying to push him into actually just going through the board instead of having all that.
Well, when we play outdoors, when we play out, we play through the board.
Yeah, we go through front.
My only gripe about that is like we never know what we're getting. Right, when you go and you don't know how good the PA is going to be or how good the system is going to end up being.
Well, at least we'll all sound shitty together.
We'll all sound shitty. Yeah, we'll sound shitty like a team.
Time, so it won't matter.
Yes, that is true. That is true. And then, what guitars do you prefer to play? You got your Jackson here, but I know you're an ESP guy. So
ESP is by far my favorite. I have an M2, and then I have a couple of others, and then of course I have a JP Majesty 7-string.
Mm-hmm.
That one's probably my favorite, but it's too expensive to play out, so I never bring
Is
it
that what
anywhere.
you record on? Do you have guitars you'd rather play out, and then guitars you use for recording?
Recording, I try to use my Evertune bridges because you don't have to tune so much.
Yeah, I know. I saw the light about that too.
And then usually my JP for like lead stuff.
Yes, I'll be the first to admit that if you use Floyd Rose floating trims is not good for this style of music.
It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to set everything. Right? It's just a lot of work, really. Let's see.
As I'm holding a floating bridge.
There's another good one. That was good. Rolo, you lived through several metal subgenres, several metal genres popping up. Okay, how do you decide which elements to bring to the table?
The ones that we go, no, don't do that.
Yeah, I know. These guys have first right of refusal on anything that I bring out. But I think like when I started writing the rhythms tracks for Dominic, I'm just sitting watching like Netflix and I'm just noodling around on my little Spark right there. Oh God, I was watching this. It's a really great series on Netflix. It's called The Last Kingdom. It's barbarian. It's like the Danes and the Saxons and everything like that. And I'm like, there's definitely a feel there. It certainly put me in the right frame of mind. But I think that if you hear parts of our songs where there's like a variation in like the pedal notes or the pedal beats, like you can hear when I'm saying, hey, let's try this, and that makes it in the gallop. I tend to do gallops. I tell you a lot of galloping. Dominic, I think sounds more like it's as 80s as we get, but that's definitely my influence in something like that. But like I would say, certainly a thrash element is what I try to bring in.
But that's what makes us unique.
What's that?
Honestly,
Dominic was a lot of fun to sing to. It was a bit of a challenge for me as well. And
I had to break you out of like some.
You
different
did.
styles.
I weirdly kind of found myself getting into kind of a Rage Against the Machine kind of feel when I was singing it. But when we were recording, I just kind of looked at CG. I'm like, does that sound okay? And he's just like, it's got attitude. I like it.
Fits the song.
It fit. I liked it. It was definitely different. A bit of a challenge, but every time we end up having a song that I find extra challenging, ends up just being probably one of our best. Just for me personally, I love them.
Let's maybe we can listen to the first one here. Look, this is not Dominic. The first track on the new EP is I Remain. And do you want to talk about this real quick before we put it out? Like, what was it like? How did you go about like coming up with the main riffs for this? I really like the chorus parts of it. Like, is this just something you were singing?
I was playing around with chords, and then I figured out basically the main chords I use, and then wrote a song to it. I mean, I don't really have like a specific thing that I do. I just kind of write until it sounds good.
Is there like do you like separate your practice regimen from your like creative?
Yeah,
because I know I do.
So I spend like a couple of. It depends on what mode we're in. Like right now we're back in writing mode, but whenever I'm writing, I just practice my roots like on work days, and then I do writing on the weekends, and kind of just sit down and play with different sounds on my keyboard, or go through and figure out different chord progressions that sound really cool, and then just kind of write stuff.
You don't go by theory or anything like that. You have to.
I mean, I
invert.
I use it as a tool, but it's not my main.
You very rarely use power chords. I know that. So
yeah, power chords are boring. I like to make you stretch.
Yes, I know. I got to have monkey hands to keep up. All right, I'm going to put this through. Hopefully, this will. If it doesn't sound like it's coming through, I'll just put it through the mic here. I believe it's coming. Okay. Tell us if you can hear this. Okay.
So what I was saying.
There we go.
From the lead, coming out of the lead on, that's my favorite part of that song. I love that part. The drum roll out just makes me go, yeah.
I get, I tell you, it's funny. It's like occasionally, depending on the song that we're doing, I occasionally get this kind of like almost like feeling of like I'm surfing, in some cases, like in a like something's pushing you kind of thing.
Okay, so
and that's no, I mean I'm not tripping on mushrooms or anything. I mean like in a sense like if I'll get into like a like there's a chorus part or something like that. And I'm like this is where I want to be in this song.
Yeah.
And that song right there, the chorus part of that is like when we first started playing that, I was just like we would play with some gusto because this is some good shit.
Yeah, the first time you sent that over to us, I was just like. I was excited. I wasn't sure what it's going to do with it yet, but
what was it? Okay, so I got to ask you this: what was the inspiration behind the lyrics for that? Because I know there's a story behind it.
There is. So I'm a teacher, and last year I was teaching high school, and I had students do this really simple assignment where they were doing like art based off of their emotion and feeling. It's kind of like a social emotional lesson at the time. And I wanted them to write a few sentences on the back of what they drew and why they drew that, what they were feeling. And a student asked if he could write a poem instead. And I said, of course. And when he wrote that poem down, I just read it and read it and read it again and again. And it was just like this fight inside of him of like identity of just trying to fight his way through. And he equated it to feeling like there was a dog and a wolf just fighting inside of him all the time. And that's kind of where a dog and a wolf spit violently comes into play. And I even asked him, you know, hey, these really inspire me. Would you mind if I kind of use this poem to help me write a song? And it's kind of where I Remain came from, is that song. So
What's his name?
his name is Zachary. That's about as much as I can say. So, but yeah.
That's for you, Zachary.
There you
Yeah,
go.
definitely.
Shout out to you, Zach.
He knows who he is. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Good man. Good man.
I loved the again the chorus parts of that in particular. I also like the hammer-on part in the middle there, of course.
Of course you do.
Of course, I like that part. But I think that as far as the overall like composition of the song, I think that's like one of our tightest songs that we've done up to this point. It's funny is like I would have said the same thing about Phoenix like on the last one, but it's like it's hard to like what's your favorite song? It's like I don't know. It's like asking like what's your favorite child? You know?
Yeah, that's
My
hard.
song is probably everyone that we do.
Everyone.
Yeah.
When we're doing it, it's my favorite. And then when we go to the next one, it's my
It's
favorite.
my favorite.
And then it just keeps happening. Like
I
that.
think Phoenix is probably still the most personal for me just because of the history behind it. I wrote it when we were in a band together, but it was about
I
Yeah.
just again I love the Phoenix. I
freaking love Phoenix.
I love Suffering. I love all of our
So
songs. So,
good.
I love them until I play them so much that I hate them.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's
funny.
how
what
it
we
is.
do though.
Let me. I got a question here for Libby here in just a second, but I want to also go over like we have a writing process, but we also have like a yearly EP process. It seems like over the last 3 years we're in this I guess routine, and this kind of started because it was 2020 and we really couldn't go play out because of COVID and everything else.
Yeah.
So we've kind of gotten to the habit, I think, where we write usually in the fall, right? Usually
End
like
of summer,
those months,
in the
end of
fall.
summer,
Yeah.
fall.
Yeah.
And then we're recording around springtime. We recorded this one in like May, when we did the primary
That's whenever it
stuff.
started, yeah.
Yeah, and then we did the mix down, was finally done just about halfway through July, and we started doing tweaking things, and then we were just now released it, of course, like last week.
Yeah.
And so we go through that process. I think that's kind of like, especially for guys who are like, I want to get in a band. How do I get in a band? I think being in a band is like, it's a lot more than just like sitting down and noodling around a guitar, and then that's really all it takes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much more that comes along with like playing in a band. And like, again, we're doing this because it's a labor of love. Okay. I mean,
Truly.
each one of us work and we make a good chunk of change doing what we're doing. We're
Except
clearly
for
not
me.
in this for the money right now. In fact, if anything, we spend a lot of money to be doing this. Yes.
Well, like,
We
speak
spend
for yourself.
way
You guys
more money.
make good money. I'm a teacher.
Yes.
I make nothing.
Yeah, you make nothing. But we're kind of a victim of our own success because it's really kind of tough for us to justify like.
Luckily, you only have to buy a mic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luckily.
Yes.
They do
Investment.
get somewhat expensive, but manageable for my salary.
You don't have to buy that.
Yeah. And then
That's why I'm the singer.
we tend to put out like we call them EPs, right? So we put out a 4-song EP, like an LP. Would an LP be like 8?
8 to 10 usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not gonna do an LP anytime soon. I guess we kind of have like.
I mean, it's kind of the platform nowadays for releasing music. I think if we waited until we had 8 written, it would be wasted.
Yeah.
To get it all out at once. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's I think that's probably how
Album's
it
not
is.
really the format anymore. That's like an old thing. It's not
It's a
really.
boomer.
Yeah.
It's a boomer
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of artists, even not to compare us to pop cultures, but even in pop culture, a lot of artists now are just pushing one song out at a time until eventually they have enough for an album, and then they just call it the album. And I feel like we're kind of doing the same thing. We try to push out like 4 at a time, though.
Mhm.
Not to
Yes.
mention we all work full time and have very busy lives, so
yes.
it's
Yeah.
a lot to.
But we do it. I think
Right.
in some ways, I think that really kind of helps us like creatively because it like all pretense is out the window. We had that one question a minute ago. It's like, how do you like sort of balance between like doing the shit that you want to do and then like doing something that's like sort of commercially viable or what? Yeah, how can you like make money on Spotify or the answer to that is you don't.
You don't.
You make
You really
pennies.
don't.
You make fractions of pennies off those plays. So please get the album. I think you're right. I have seen the music industry fundamentally change over the course of my own lifetime, and seeing like I can remember back in my day, I remember being your age, maybe younger, like 23 years old.
200 years ago?
Yeah, 3,000 years ago, Gandalf.
Okay.
Pepperidge Farm.
Yes, Pepperidge Farm. Right? Yeah. Aaron Clary is going to give me so much shit for this. But back in the day, anyways, I can remember being in a band and like you would have to like finding a rehearsal space was like next to impossible. That was number one.
It was in a garage.
Yes, and you had to go through like ads in the newspaper to find like people, and there was a recycler back then. If you ever watch Motley Crue, The Dirt, it's that documentary on Netflix. That's what you had to go through to put a band together back then. But it wasn't just that. Well, snorting blow off hookers' asses.
Right,
yeah, they had to. That was part of the job. But the other part of the job is you also had to find people. You had to be a good musician. You had to be good on stage. You had to have a look. You had to have production value.
But not only that, you had to use
stuff.
a 4-track reel-to-reel.
Right. And recording. That's another thing. You have to know recording methods of those days.
I stopped listening.
I know. Yeah.
I even stopped
Yeah.
listening.
It's a completely changed. Like you were just saying. Like the format now is like 3 songs or 4 songs in an EP, right?
Yeah.
So it's just pushing out, an MP3 and MP3 and MP3.
I noticed that it depends on the genre, though. Like, I know I have a ton of friends that are in death metal bands, a ton. And all of them are doing full-length albums. And some of them are doing full-length albums plus a secret hidden track. So they're doing 13 songs on an album. And every single one of them are doing that. And we're like the black sheep that we actually pull out 4 songs at a time.
And we're good to go.
Yeah.
I'd rather put out 4 really high quality songs than try to force out 13 songs that are
Yeah. Too
I
many.
agree with
That's
Yeah.
my thing to that.
Yeah. It's throwing spaghetti against the wall. All right. This is a good one. Where'd it go? There you go. To the lovely singer. Do you use any techniques between singing and screaming to prevent your voice from shitting the bed?
A lot of practice.
That's pretty good.
So first off, I should probably say that I actually do all of my screams are inhaled, which is not very common. I'm learning. So I know it's just a lot of practice, I guess, and finding the right tones to make it a smoother transition. And having asthma doesn't help, but finding the right it really doesn't. But
My secret is asthma.
my secret is asthma. I can hold the note a lot longer than I can hold my breath, which is a very weird statement too. But I don't know. I guess it's just whatever comes naturally. Like I've never had formal training other than watching the videos that Melissa Cross has put out, which have helped tremendously. But I even started doing all of my metal screams came from mimicking animal sounds. So
It's actually pretty common.
which I mean it makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean they call them pig squeals and stuff like that for a reason, but which that was also something I did as a kid. It was like a weird hidden talent I had, and I did in like a 3rd grade talent show. I'm over here just like
And it carried over.
It carried over. Listen.
In her room in the mirror.
I don't know. I was a weird child.
Straight to Tella.
Yeah, late autism diagnosis makes a lot more sense now. But
All right, let's go. Let's move on to Dominic here. So,
You want to
feel like I can't
say
believe this
something
all
about it?
we'll do it afterwards. Yeah.
Operation Dominic. Existential politics. It's fucking camouflage. Rock the guns.
All right, so what did you guys think of that one? That was Dominic.
Dominic.
Yeah, that's like something we have not done before.
It was fun.
Yeah, was
It
that
a lot
fun?
of fun? It was thrashy and fun, and I can get down to some thrash metal.
That's when I was trying to do something fast and peppy.
Fast and peppy.
Fast and
Fast and
peppy.
peppy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And,
Let's see. Oh,
having the background story of it being about nuclear testing. And
she screams but has a nice voice.
Thank you.
And E. Jones gives us some fire and flames. Nice vocals. Thank you for the compliments, my friends. So that was Dominic. Now, Dominic is kind of like a personal song for me because I wrote that song. I wrote the lyrics anyways, or the idea. I think the germ of the idea came from my father, actually, of all people. He was serving on a ship called the USS Lansing, and it was a destroyer escort. And back in with
62?
that was the end of it. But like 1958 to 1962, the U.S.
1200s.
The U.S. government did nuclear tests in the South Pacific, right, off of Johnston Atoll. We haven't put that in the song. Johnston Atoll's in there, and it was nuclear tests, and the real tests were the sailors on the boat, actually, because they were the ones who were subjected to nuclear radiation at that time. And so my father was serving exactly during those years, 58 to 62. And he was part of the 1962 tests when they were out there. And I always wanted to do a song about that. And I thought, oh, this might make for some good lyrics and everything. And then we went and we looked at the logs, the ship's logs of my father's ship, the USS Lansing at that time. And I thought it was bad enough that they were the U.S. government subjecting these guys. My dad was like 19, 20 when he was out there, right? And And it was bad enough that was going on. But what did we discover in the logs? Because you were the one that found this out.
Yeah, leave it to the weirdo who's in love with cryptids in mythology. Sightings of unidentified flying objects and submerged objects recorded in the naval logs. And then I even looked into it further. And there was even a team, I don't believe it was off the Lansing in particular, but within that same group of destroyer escorts, they had sent several people down into the water to even look at the submerged
UFOs.
And allegedly there were reports of seeing a very large pill-shaped craft that was kind of silverish but almost see-through, where they could see silhouettes of these humanoid creatures. But even in the logs, which are in the songs too, they denote the exact time when they see a UFO. They track its direction and how long it was in the sky, and allegedly there were dozens.
The first magnitude star.
Yep,
That's part of the lyrics.
Yep,
actually.
absolutely. And they apparently there was dozens of sightings that had occurred, and not just with Operation Dominic, but with a lot of operations inside of Project Fishbowl, which was the main.
Exactly. And so so now we have. So
me too.
My father is a gunner's mate on the USS Lansing. We have Navy ships out there for nuclear tests. And now we have UFOs and aliens to add to all of this. If that's not a Megadeth style song, I don't know what the hell it is. So that was kind of the inspiration behind it. But I think there's certain parts in that song, the middle part you did. In there, and
the weird alien
was just to add something kind of quirky.
You said you wanted to sound like aliens.
We needed an alien part.
And then I said I wanted to sound like I was radio chatter.
Yes, and so I was going to say the part at the end there where we're doing the build, the Megadeth buildup. That is actually Livy doing spoken word directly from the ship's log.
Pretty much, yeah. I had to kind of cut and paste.
Move things around, but yeah.
And just to mention this, all the vocals are Livy, regardless of what people say, because I know that I've had other people tell me that, no, there's a guy in there that's singing backup vocals.
No, it's me.
There was
none of us have sang any backup vocals on any track.
Every EP, it's all her.
Especially the screaming.
Yes.
Thanks.
I just wanted to say that because there was people that were saying, "Oh, no, there's got to be a guy." No,
it's just me.
It's just
I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we might have a guest vocalist come in, but
where's CJ?
Or CJ, yes.
Drum and guitar player were fire. Everyone who contributed to the song deserves a win. W. Yeah,
Thank you.
Very Queensryche with the spoken word part.
Did your camera go up?
Oh no, it's just the.
Okay.
It's still here.
It's still on. It's just the monitors.
Okay.
Because it's not a battery. It's not a battery supply.
Queensryche is an amazing band, so that's good.
I like Queensryche, yeah.
I was going to ask you. Yeah, is that one of your?
Now, whenever I was a kid, my dad's favorite band is Queensryche.
Is he not a kid now?
He's the youngest guy in this whole band. Right?
I'm still 26.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's right. You had a birthday.
Yeah. I'm getting old.
You're getting old. Yes.
You're almost 30. Oh Lord.
No, I am almost 30. It's been 4 months.
I had 4 years before then.
There's that. So there's one part in the song where it's right before the build-up part. I have to say, I got a confession to make. I deliberately wrote that so we could do sort of a dual lead kind of thing in there.
That's
because I've always wanted us to be both kind of I'm playing a fifth down from where you're at kind of thing. Yeah. So, but that was I really felt like that was a pretty solid song from start to finish because we had a solid idea of what we wanted to do, and I think that's probably the easiest one of all of them to record. I think.
Yeah. Learned it pretty quick.
I think I only had to do a once through on that one pretty much.
I don't remember.
I think so.
I just sit there and press the red button, and then if it sounds like crap, I say it, and then we do it.
Mm-hmm. And I was also going to say your vocal styles are a lot different in that one. So it's it's meant to fit what the song was about. So
yeah.
That one was really quick to record for sure.
So Queensryche is one of your 80s.
I don't listen to them a lot.
Well, it's not like you have them,
but it was
a
big influence whenever I first started playing, and then whenever I was a kid. Yeah.
All right, I got here's a off-ball question here. Okay. What music do you listen to that you think would surprise any one of us in the band? Like what do you have in your playlist? You go, oh my God, I hope none of the guys ever find out that I have this in my playlist.
I'm not ashamed of it, but I do listen to some hip hop and rap. Like I'll listen to Snoop Dogg. I'll listen to some newer stuff like Ash Nico, but I'm also a big fan of like disco. Casey and the Sunshine Band is usually in there. Yeah. So I'm like, that one might be surprising, but that's just because like between my parents, my mom definitely listened to a lot more like Josh Groban, Celine Dion, but also a lot of like disco and Styx and stuff like that. But my dad was more metal, so I heard everything growing up. So I don't know. I'm all over the place.
What would embarrass you with us?
I'm not really a closet music person, but yeah, I don't really have anything. Like most of the time, I'm listening
like Devo or something like.
Most of the time, I'm listening to audiobooks. I'm not even listening to music. Yeah,
podcasts.
Like 99% of the time, I'm not listening to music.
Would you say like bands like I know you're a huge Dream Theater fan. Is that like an inspirational influence on like on your musical styling as far as?
Yeah, I mean they're very progressive, obviously, and I try to write stuff that's not too repetitive like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say so.
What would embarrass you?
I don't think anything would. I mean, I listen to a lot of classical music when I'm at home, so I guess that's the weirdest I get. I listen to Tchaikovsky while programming.
Nerd.
I'm a nerd. He listens to everybody outside his office while he's programming. So
yeah.
I don't really.
No
think
Britney Spears, Steve.
No Britney Spears.
No Toxic.
I grew up.
No Hannah Montana.
4 sisters. I could probably
You
sing a lot
could.
of Britney Spears
Or
songs.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I don't really have any of that. I mean, mine is like you're gonna see All That Remains and Five Finger Death Punch, and so that and Slipknot. Not that I like them or anything.
Yeah. I have too many like guilty pleasures. Let's see. I love Steel Panther. Everybody already knows that.
God,
so I'm
yeah,
not. That, I guess that would like account for. I love. It's not really embarrassing though because I mean they're playing like when they play Walking Music Festival. I mean, so they're not.
We're keeping score, so that's one for Raw.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's see. There is a. It's God. I don't even know how to classify these guys, but they're kind of like a punk jazz band ish, and the singer has amazing lyrics. They're called Viagra Boys. And I know it sounds strange, but it's almost like ska in a way.
I listen to ska.
And they're out, by the way, and they're out of I believe they're out of Poland. They're a European band, and they're doing
the Poland bands,
but they're just like so unique. But they're like people like be weirded out that you listen to this kind of stuff. But I really like the rhythm kind of stuff, and like they're very very tight band. You put an appreciation for like really like it doesn't even have to be metal. I just they're a really good band. Wolfpack is a really great like jazz combo kind of band.
Yeah, they're good.
They are fantastic, and the reason why I have appreciation for them is because the timing and everything is absolutely dead nuts perfect. So that would definitely be one. And then ABBA.
ABBA. I also something I played in my classroom.
ABBA.
You went ABBA.
Yeah.
Other things.
Take a chance on me.
Stuff I'll even play in my classroom is like because I teach history now, so some things I'll play in my classroom are like indigenous or tribal music that's kind of like modernized. Bands like Hailong, Otiken, Scald, and
Tears for Fears.
oh gosh, there's
Tears for Fears is your guilty.
No, there's I'll have to remember her name, but there's this lady who does covers of modern songs, but in a medieval style, and it's like Hilda von something I can't remember, but she's amazing.
There's
hilarious.
There's there's a band called Hayseed. You guys probably heard Hayseed Dixie. You heard of that? They're a bluegrass band, but they play like metal covers, bluegrass style.
I'd listen to that. Yeah.
No, never heard of that.
So much.
You'll have to text me that.
Yeah, they're actually very good tight band. And then also I've been listening to oud players and like sort of like
Oud.
outside of my own genre right now, but it's still stringed instruments. 'Cause I'm trying to
Yeah.
learn oud right now, but I really like that. I really like a lot of like Irish bouzouki kind of players. And by the way, when you're listening to sort of like Gaelic or Celtic music, it sounds like the kind of stuff you hear when you're like playing World of Warcraft and you're in like the safe cities. And it's like, oh, I hear the music, I must be okay. I don't have to worry about being attacked here. But this brought up a really wow.
Just wow.
This brings up a really great point though. Is
LOL.
like, and you were talking about like the ethnic thing, the multi thing. Is metal is like worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I sent you guys this. I think you guys have seen this. There's like Navajo Indian tribe bands, like metal bands, on the reservations now.
That's amazing.
There is Maori metal bands in New Zealand.
Like Alien Weaponry, that one?
Yeah.
There's Paiute bands out in Fallon.
Fallon, yes.
There's a Samoan metal band. There are. Oh, by the way, I have a huge. You guys don't know that I have a huge following in Kenya, and so people keep sending me these Kenyan metal fests. Like invitations to come out to the Kenyan metal. Like,
that's really cool.
We can't get them out here any other way. Let's get them to come to the Kenyan metal. I'm looking at this going, yeah, I might do that actually.
That could be arranged.
Yes, yeah. I was
I'd like
amazed.
to travel.
And I tell you, the thing is like I think a lot of people think, oh, but that way back in the day, oh, heavy metal's dead, metal's gone. You know, it's like no, man, it's just gone through a shift.
Do you guys think heavy metal is dead?
Has it changed though? Is like
It
is
has
there
changed.
I mean, it's
Obviously.
changed.
Everything
it's way more
changes.
technical and less thrashy now.
I think a lot of like when people first heard our first EP, I think people were asking me if I was like into gent, and I like gent.
Gent's
But I don't
cool.
think that we're gent.
No.
Really.
We don't play gent.
We
No.
pivot
Not
off
yet,
of the
anyway.
root a lot, but
Mhm.
yeah.
So I
We're-
honestly think that
we're
the,
metal.
Present,
the
yeah,
gent
more
thing,
progressive, I
if
think.
we decided to play something gent, we would just play it. It's
Yeah.
not,
It
we
would add
don't
it to
have
it.
like, oh, we're just this and we don't
Yeah.
play anything else. We're a progressive band, so that's what we do.
We
I-
play what we
progressive.
feel.
I would say whenever people are saying that though, there's talking about like more of the metal attitude is dead. I think.
Really.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you
Maybe.
think about like metal nowadays, I imagine a guitarist like myself drinking coffee in their studio,
Yes.
Recording.
Playing to your computer.
Metal in the 80s and stuff with somebody getting high and like drunk and playing
Yeah.
some crap on their
Falling
guitar.
over their
Yeah,
drums
the-
and
Not crap,
Yeah.
some of it's good, but
It's like
Yeah.
you don't have to look a certain way to be metal
I
anymore.
think that part of metal is pretty much
Yeah.
dead. But I think that's for the better. So
Yeah, it's saying that you to be metal you have to look or act a certain way is very gatekeeping, and it's not
yeah,
really.
that's just stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's like let people enjoy what they like. I mean, like I even heard recently that Carrie Underwood is like a really huge metalhead, and she loves like I Prevail was one of her favorite bands. I'm like, I didn't know that, but because she's more of a country singer, but I respect the hell out of that. I'm like, yeah, if you love it, you love it. And that's what I-
diversity is fun.
That's what diversity is great.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm looking at metal bands from like Mongolia, the Who,
The
the
Who.
HU, yeah, the Who, HU.
Yeah,
They-
and Otyken, it's like Otyken. They're Siberian, kind of in the same
Mhm.
area, and they're amazing. They're really
I'd
cool.
say that the one thing I really like is like when I go to like see a show. For instance, I'm going to go see Death Angel, Exodus, and Testament at the middle of October at the
Oh,
Cargo. I
goodness.
still have extra tickets if you guys will come with me. But I'm going to go do the meet and greet with
Okay.
with Death Angel.
I have missed Death Angel like 4 times in my teens, and I'm dying to finally see them.
I absolutely love that band. But
Haven't listened to
I think
them
what's
yet.
great is like I can go to. I think I told you this when we went to go see Trivium and Megadeth and Lamb of God that one time and Hatebreed. You just go down on the floor and it's like you don't know anybody that's around you, but like you're into this music. So you're like part of the family, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't want to be related to them, but they're still part of your family. But I that's the thing that I really love about playing this style of music is like you're there, you could be alone and you'll watch the show. By the end of the show, you've got 10 people that want to hang out with you because you're into the same shit that they're into.
Yeah. That's great.
It sort of unites everybody, I think. Let's see.
A lot of nerds in the metal scene too,
Oh,
which
wait.
I'm happy
Now,
about.
yeah.
Now.
I'm not
Well,
a nerd.
Well, you know what's funny is like, have you guys seen Stranger Things? The fourth.
Of course I have.
Of course you have.
Absolutely.
When you see Eddie, that was 1986. By the way, graduated 1986, right?
Wow.
Played Dungeons and Dragons. This guy right here.
10 years before
Yes. Yeah. And it's funny to see how they sort of like nailed that kind of character, like the metalhead from the 80s versus like how are they going to represent him in 2022.
And they named him after the icon for Iron Maiden.
Eddie, yes.
In the comics, they mentioned that too.
Heavy metal isn't dead if you're creating it and people listen to it. Yes.
There you go. Exactly.
Greg Wilkinson, this is what he wanted to tell you. A singer that does the medieval style, Hilda von Billing.
Hilda von Blingen. That's her.
Blingen,
Yep.
that's what that is.
She's hilarious.
I listen to stuff As I Lay Dying and Sonic Syndicate.
Did I listen to that?
Dying, yeah.
I've listened to As I Lay
Sonic
Dying.
Syndicate sounds really familiar.
Yeah, same. I want to say sometimes I'm not always the best with the names of bands. Sometimes I'll just throw in like a Spotify or Pandora and just
go with
listen
it.
and go with it. So I don't always know who I'm listening
I did.
to.
Okay, so I asked you about guilty pleasures. Before you get to the next one, like, what's like the music you're listening to? What do you really like right now? Like, what that wouldn't surprise me, but nobody knows. What are you listening to in your playlist that you really dig on right now?
Right now, other than podcasts, Spirit Box and Make Them Suffer, Ginger.
Which we never got to open for.
No, come back to
We tried.
Rena.
Thank you. Yeah, you fucking fuck Vladimir Putin. You ruined our chance at opening with Ginger.
Fuck that.
I think we would have got it too.
Fuck.
Who is it?
I'm trying to remember the name.
Okay, who is it?
It's not going to surprise anybody. All that remains is in my
All
playlist.
that
Always. It's always in your playlist.
Always
That's
in my playlist.
It's like your
always.
top.
I mean, yeah.
Drummer wise, like who do you listen to? Who do you like the best? Like that would be in your playlist.
I think I mentioned that before. Jason Costa.
Mhm.
So obviously, and then Jeremy Spencer, which is the drummer for used to be the drummer for Five Finger. And then
You can't find it.
Joey Jordison
It's 'cause my
was
phone's
one of
Rest
my
in peace.
favorites.
It's called
he's passed
like
away,
Van.
and
Van
he was an
Platt.
absolutely fantastic drummer. And then of
Van
course,
Platt.
there's no way to leave out
That's
Chris
what I've been
Adler,
listening to.
because
They have
Chris
really good
Adler is
music.
probably one of the greatest drummers that I've seen.
Never heard
in
of them.
our genre.
Nobody's heard of them.
So
They're really good though.
honestly, there's no one that can top him. Not yet.
Send me the
I mean, there will be eventually, but for
Something.
now, it's Adler, the Adler Experience.
Did you find out who it is?
Yeah, it's Vanden Plas is who
Vanden
I've been
Plas?
Plus. Yeah, VANDENPLAS. They have some really good stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Metal? Sorry.
Yeah, it's metal. It's more orchestral / cinematic metal.
Yeah. That scratches the itch. I tell you, I dig on that. I'm probably to the surprise of nobody. I mean, Lamb of God is something ever since that show, man. It's just, all I've been doing is, but that was a year ago too, and I was like, damn, I love this band. And then there's a band called Lich King that I listen to quite often when I'm working out. I mean, the standards, but Lich King is like one of my favorites. They have, I don't know if they got a new album out, but they're still together. They're still playing shows and everything. I love those guys. In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to do this kind of like live stream kind of situations because Lich King does that. They have their live stream, their rehearsals and play. They'll take requests and everything. I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. But I just absolutely love the sound and I love the attitude and I love the band itself. And then of course you guys got me into Trivium.
Yep.
And Now you go. Now we're back.
Hi.
All right, we came back. We're good.
Ta-da.
Everybody back? Okay, still live. There we go. All right.
Sorry.
We're back. Sorry. I know it died. My bad. So
Happy Wi-Fi over here.
yes. So we were just saying that Trivium is like the greatest band in the world.
Not the greatest.
Matt,
They're great.
I think I have a new appreciation for Matt Heafy because he does a lot of Instagram stuff. Like I think he has a Twitch stream too. Like
Yeah.
he'll come and like play video games with you. Like he's a
He's
singer for
great.
Trivium. He's
Yeah.
like he's amazing.
He's a good personality.
The first time I saw Trivium, I think I was like 15 or 16 years old, and it was at, oh God, I can't remember what it was, but it was here in Reno. It was just a small venue, and I remember even Pablo jumped off the stage and was running through the crowd. But at one point, the mosh pit got a little crazy to the point where two people were like really brawling, and he stopped the show and made them like break up and like shake hands, and in
I
the
saw
meantime
that.
they're playing
Yeah.
like the Jeopardy theme.
You know what he
and shit.
said?
It was
He
great.
like Matt Heafy broke up a fight in the middle of the show.
He's a
And
good guy.
And here's the thing.
Such a
He
good guy.
stops right dead in the middle of the song. Like
Dead.
stop. He says I have what does he have, twin boys or something like that? I have
Yeah.
twin boys. They fight all the time. I'm not going to deal with this shit right here. So you know,
He's like, "We're here to have a
he
good
set-
time."
he settles the fight like he would with his kids.
Yeah,
And then you know what? They restart the song right on the fucking like time signature and note that they stopped on.
it was great.
I was like, it was
That's
amazing
why-
he did
that's
that in
why
the
I have
first
to
place. I was
mention
like, holy shit.
They're always in my playlist.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Matt
tight.
Heafy's a good guy. They're all great. Love that band.
All right, let's you want to move to the next song?
Let's do it.
Let's do the next song. Okay, this is the silence. Okay.
This is
Do you want to give us some build up on the silence? Like what this we
Yeah,
already
this
talked
is-
about Dr.
yeah.
Who, so.
well, no, yeah, this is the one that was inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I'd already mentioned before. But the episode's called Hush. But essentially, it's about these like demons in suits, and they have like these kind of ghouls that are their helpers that are in these like straight jackets, and they crawl on the floor. But the main demons like float, and
I want
they-
to see this.
yeah, they essentially, when they go into a town, everybody loses their voices and they're kept into this box. And they go through the town and they choose 7 victims and they take their hearts. And really what they're just trying to do is like, who can find the prettiest heart to display it in a glass jar. And nothing can kill them unless they hear like a real human scream, but nobody has a voice. So the way you get your voice back is by smashing the box, but it's kind of hard to do because they're usually like surrounding
Spoiler
it. But
alert.
it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so I can't really say it's spoiler alert when the episode came out, like, you know,
In the
20
90s.
years ago. So, but season 4, episode 10, Hush. I just love that show.
And that's what you got out of this guy. And so this is like our spooky song.
Yes.
This is the Haunted Mansion song that
Using
we
some
put on.
like chromatic and minor second stuff. That's your friend with spooky stuff.
Spooky.
Yes.
That's your friend, the
The-
spooky stuff?
Devil's
Minor
Triad.
second.
Yep.
Yep.
Forgot to get lunch too. So after this,
I
I'm
know.
going to eat.
Me 3. And then I'm gonna go grade some papers. Oh, my life is sad.
If you just take them all and go F, that's good.
You know?
Okay, or A, depending on the mood you're in.
You know, depending on the student.
All right. Now I got it.
No kidding. I grade fairly.
You now have a C. Everybody gets a C.
watch you. You cannot cry. And two men are coming. They're looking at windows and knocking on doors. They think that they have it more out of yours. You can't go home as they were. You're a demon on green, but you outright are.
Them with a light human scream.
There we go. That was the silence off of our latest EP,
Yeah.
Origin. Yes.
Good
So
announcement.
that was our.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was. Yeah, that was our. That's our Spooky Forest song. That's our Spooky Forest. That's our Haunted Mansion song. We always do that. Like we. What was the other one? It wasn't Heathen. Was that the?
Who's Heathen last time?
Heathen on
Origin.
the last one. Yeah. But it seems like we always do something like, I guess, in like Chromatics or the Devil's Triad kind of thing. Or
Yeah.
we're not trying to sound like Ghost, really.
Yeah.
No, we play too fast to be Ghost.
Yeah. Let's see.
Part ghosty.
So that was giving
I mean,
K-Mo giving me Halloween vibes.
Yes.
I mean,
That
okay.
was the purpose of that one.
So I'm only part ghosty because I died and then I came back to life, which is kind of
that's
what
right.
Phoenix is about.
That is right. Do you want
That's a thing that happened.
what happened?
That
That was the inspiration for Phoenix, right?
for the most part, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And you had a near-death experience.
Oh yeah, when I was 10 years old, I went into anaphylactic shock because I'm allergic to everything, including myself. Died for 5.5 minutes.
So it wasn't near death. She died.
So I died.
So it was-
Yeah, I was
Okay.
legally dead for about 5.5 minutes, without oxygen for several minutes longer than that.
So you're kind of like undead.
I kind of am, and I shouldn't be alive.
Her heart's still beating.
Yeah, for the most part.
Makes a lot more sense.
It does. But yeah, no, I shouldn't be alive. Like the doctors gave me, even after they stabilized me, they told my parents like, well enough for you to say your goodbyes, and that's about it. So, but yeah, no. And then I woke up the next morning and I'm like,
No, you're
I'm
not-
hungry.
you're
Somebody
not-
feed me.
She's literally allergic to everything.
I am.
true.
I
So
have
the
a
only thing I can buy
bracelet
her is
tattoo.
tacos to eat. That's all I can buy her. that's it.
Yes, I
Tacos.
happily tacos. Yeah, I love tacos and sushi.
Sushi and tacos. Sorry.
Chocolate.
You can eat chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Oh my
I
God.
tried fighting a bear over chocolate.
Jesus.
Listen, I have a weird life.
Let's do Origin. I got to do a build up on Origin here because this is a song that you this is the first one we started doing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yep.
So this was like the very this time. Well, gosh, it would have been October of last year or September of last year is when you started
something like
presenting
that.
this
A
to the
while
band.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what was your because this is unlike anything we've ever done before. It's like much more technical, techno. I don't know what the hell to call it. Was it?
Music.
I know. But I mean, like, what was the thought process behind putting this? Because it's really unlike anything else.
I don't remember what I was listening to back then. I think I was listening to a lot of Jason Richardson stuff. Yeah, I don't know. And then I just most of this was actually written on a keyboard, not on a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just playing around with synths and wrote that on the keyboard. A lot of octaves, which I wasn't even thinking about how it would work on the guitar whenever I was writing it, but
And then you transpose
it turned out it turned out okay. So
you play piano as well. You play keyboard.
I don't play it very well, but I can, play it at a quarter of the speed and then put it up to where I could play it on the guitar. Yeah.
I think one of the weird things about this one is instead of going fast and really, breaking up stuff, this one was just be laid back.
Heavy and slow.
And it was a lot
Yeah.
of relax. And him going, just relax.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And me going, no, I want to go faster.
Definitely a
And
less
going,
is more
"No,
song.
Just relax, bro.
Relax through the whole song and you'll be just fine.
See, like, when I heard this, I was like, kind of like, it almost sounds like a club, like you want to move to it, more than
It's
anything else. Wait, we don't have too many dance songs unless it's like you're going to get in the pit or something like that. But it's like this
every
is like,
song's a dance song.
if you want to, everybody. By the way, everybody gets down. We get down differently.
If you're living, I will
It
dance
doesn't
to
matter,
anything.
so
Yes.
They see me Vogue during practice. It's
We have one diva.
heavy metal just.
One diva.
We have one. There's only room for one diva, and that's this guy right here.
Oh, I just,
So, anyways, this
but that's
is
all right.
this
We-
is
we share a
Origin.
diva title.
Yeah, you do.
You guys share diva?
We share a diva title,
Yeah.
but I
I
wear the
don't want a
crown.
diva title. I
Because
would.
it looks prettier on me. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wear the crown.
Yeah.
No.
All right. So this is Origin.
So
It's a tiara.
So and Origin is I think this is a different different direction, but certainly a different feel for us, anyways.
Yeah.
What was your inspiration for the lyrics on this?
So he had just titled it Origin, and I listened to it, and it just kind of, I don't know, made me feel like the origin of like some monster trying to escape a hellish prison, aka me escaping my ex-husband. Just kidding. Nope, not.
don't let
No, I don't know.
Or
It
not.
just it was honestly just the going off the title Origin. I just kind of let that inspire me and just listen to the
Beginnings.
music, and sometimes the music just tells me a story, and I just put it on paper.
That's actually one of the reasons why I came up with the cover art for this, or the ideas for the cover art for this thing, is because I like the idea of like Origin. It's
It
like
sounds
going
like
someplace,
you're called
doing something
Yeah.
new, kind of thing. I'll explain the cover
To be
later.
more clear, though,
Yeah.
Complex is really
Yeah.
the
Yes.
X song, but that doesn't matter.
Here we go. All right, that's it, man. We go.
No,
We want to go back to the library now. Shall we go back to the library?
We'll have to do that
Back in
another
time.
day.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I think this one fits the thumbnail of this live, which is the cover of the album, by the way. And then singer is based and dead pilled because you had a near-death experience.
Yup.
So, so that's the new EP that's out. You can get that on Spotify. It's also on iTunes.
You can get it on every
You get
streaming platform
everything.
in the world.
Yes, you can get that
Seriously.
anywhere, including
TikTok.
yes. You can go listen to it on YouTube. Yes, right now. So it's
Yep.
available
saying it's
everywhere. Yeah, feel free to download that to your playlists and make a playlist of it.
Buy the album, and
All of them.
we will love you forever. Buy
Okay.
all of them.
I was speaking of which, I have to explain the cover art. I do the cover art for our album. So this one was, I think I ran some ideas by you, and you guys really liked the astronaut one. And this was just like, I was just looking at some concept art, for possible possibilities. I'm like, well, what goes with Origin? Like that was going to be the title track. And so I'm like, we don't really do like, skulls and dragons and death's heads and stuff like that as a part of our like sort of imagery. We're like, I think we're like a little bit more like futuristic more than anything else, I guess. I don't know, does that follow with like progressivism or something? Being a progressive band.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Futuristic. I don't know, futuristic, but also we love having like the Phoenix.
It's always the hardest. Here's the hardest part with it. It's very easy. It would be very easy to
Sci-fi.
do like skulls and crossbones and but everybody does that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally everyone
And
does
we
that.
are trying to be different.
We're trying,
We
yeah.
want to be
From our artsy
the black sheep or
Mhm.
something different. We're a progressive band, so everything that we write is not going to be the same
That's what
every time
happened,
you
yeah.
listen to an album. We want to still give you the same feel, but we don't want it to be the same because then that bores us and you.
It's like when the guy asks like, how do you balance like between doing the stuff that you like creatively versus like what you think other people like, how are you going to be popular on whatever? It's like I don't think that's ever been a consideration for us. It's
never
like we
thought
do the
about
shit that we like.
Yeah.
Basically is what we do.
Yep.
And so anyway, so the story behind the astronauts, by the way, that's all of us.
Yeah.
So let's see, let's see if you guys can see it. Going from, I have it on here in the
My astronaut's a little fatter than
you're front and center. That's
I know,
you.
but he's fatter than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is he? Is he
But
good?
he took
All right.
me in
There's padding in there.
So you can see here, like I'm on the far right, then comes CJ, and then of course Livy's right there,
The tiny
the
one.
shortest of them all.
I'm 5 foot.
And then we had to put you in the back because you're the biggest bear-looking dude that's in the whole thing.
True.
So that
I'm always in the back anyway.
yeah.
So that
And
was-
by the way, if you focus in on the astronauts, like name tags, you'll see Rollo, you'll see CJ, or you see Straw. I think as I use last names, I put Livy on yours and stuff, so you can see which ones. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's all the way across my
yes.
Yes.
So the idea, anyways, the idea behind all of this is like it's sort of going on to new things, right? Going on to new worlds, kind of thing. So that was really where the inspiration, I think, from for the cover. And by the way, I worked with a really talented artist on the basic on the astronauts part of it, and then I took that and went and did the digital work on top of that. So I'm his name is escaping me right now, but he's on Instagram. I'll make sure I give him a big shout out for this. I actually have, and I'm going to bring it in here. I forgot to bring it in, but I have the original painting of it that we should probably put on the wall somewhere in here at some point. So because people are asking about people always ask about the Phoenix cover, they ask about this one and stuff like that. So I think we're kind of like I think with every album we're trying to sort of like decide where like the artistic direction is with each one of these things. So Phoenix was a natural because that was probably the strongest song of that whole 4-song set. So we knew what we were going to do. So we've always used you can see I could swing it around, but our logo is basically, we always have a Phoenix on there, and that's kind of been our thing for a while. I guess the icon is
on our website.
It's on our website.
On my LIVESTREAM.
Yeah.
Can
you see it? Wait, there you go. Now you can see it.
You can.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, okay. So the last question is this: where do we go from here? What are we doing next? You guys were already writing songs when I got here today, man. I know.
We're writing more.
We're already working on new stuff. And now the other thing I got to answer is because people constantly keep asking me this. When are you going to release the intro song for your podcast? Okay, we're working on it as a single. I'm actually, it's on me. It's all my fault. I'm the one that has to sort of give it back to these guys so that we rework it. That song actually is something that I wrote way back in like 2004. And it's actually a full fleshed out song. It's called Told You So, but and it has lyrics. But I want to kind of update it for our sound too. So we're still playing it in the way, and it's going to be a Trial of Ascension song when we're done. So, but where do we go from here? What do you see happening in 2023?
And everybody can, kick me in the head and in the teeth. We're probably going to head a little bit more cleaner.
Yep.
And maybe a little bit lighter. I can't say all about all the instruments, but I think the vocals are going to go more clean. We're still going to have the nuances. We're Trial of Ascension, so that is what it is. And then we'll see what the music brings, honestly.
Yeah.
I'll continue to use distortion and play.
Plug in and go. Yes.
I'm probably going to experiment with some new clean vocal styles, maybe depending on what's written, since we've got a lot of jazz undertones and inspiration with our stuff, maybe look into some more jazz type vocals. And Tatiana from Ginger does that too. So I don't know. I'm listening to a lot of Ginger and a lot of Spirit Box lately. And I kind of love that sound. Not that I want to try to mimic it, but she does a lot of beautiful cleans over heavy distortion in a lot of areas. And so that's going to be an inspiration point for me to springboard off of. Something I think you need to be inspired by is that you have a beautiful voice.
Yes.
And we want to highlight it. So
I would say here's something that you impressed upon me when we did the Phoenix album was when I finally heard the final mix downs of that. And like when we're in here, I hear one thing, but when I hear the mix down of it and I hear you and we all come together on the recording, I'm like, holy shit, we really got a band, like it sounds like
amazing.
Normally when we come through and we do all of our EPs, every single one of them, I don't get to hear the vocals until it's actually mixed. So at least pre-production is done because I don't get to hear anything because I'm back there and those cymbals are a bit loud.
So I think I'm the only one who does hear basically everything.
And all the oopsies in between, all my pterodactyl moments that I will never.
Pterodactyl.
I do, where I do screams, but then I squeak and.
I'm secretly working on a video for that. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was going to say, we will eventually be doing some videos because I know people have been asking for that as well.
Yeah.
So that's in the works. And then of course the intro song, I Told You So, is in the works as well. I have some new stuff to bring. I've already been kind of working on that kind of stuff too. I've been, now that I'm got into more of the stuff like your side of things with like Superior Drummer and working more with, doing things more digitally instead of just sort of like listening to it and bringing it to you. I'm starting to like play bass a little bit more. I don't have gin bass, but you do. But like when I'm doing my own tracks and say, here's a song, like I'll play bass to it and sort of give that to you guys. I really like somebody asked about like, the 5-string distorted bass. I dig that sound quite a bit. So, so that's probably something that I'll lean into. And then also sort of ethnic instruments, right? I'm playing an oud right now. I want to get I think it's called a balaglama. It's kind of like, it's another Middle Eastern kind of, it's like an oud, but it's like a longer neck to it. It has a higher timbre to it. I really want to get one of those and sort of experiment a little bit with that. And we're talking, you're looking at like maybe 3 or 4 strings on the whole thing, or it's like cigar box guitar or something like that. Yeah, exactly. But I think
gorilla hands, man.
Exactly, orangutan hands, man.
A banjo too. No.
I will not bring in a banjo, although I am related to Roscoe Holcomb, as you guys know. So, but anyways, so that's us for right now. We're going to continue making some stuff. I think people are going to ask us. Let's see if I got any other questions before we get out of here.
Yeah, I think it's talking time.
Yep, we're just about done. So I just wanted to say, like, it's a privilege to play with you guys. I don't want to butter you guys up or anything. I tell you this occasionally. It's like, this dude right here is like, I don't know if you ever saw that movie Whiplash and Mr. Fitch in Whiplash. He's my Mr. Fitch. Like, he's the one who says, not my tempo. He's the one who like drives me like to be I'm a better musician because, well, of all of you guys. But certainly Steve, sort of reconditioning me to play with the metronome and learn to play in a different style as well and start like, sort of expand my musical, range and ability. And that's what a professional musician does, right? I mean, you're always growing as musicians and you're trying new vocal styles. And I think that's sort of like, I think the core strength of this band is that we will try different things and we strive for excellence in what we do.
We're diverse.
Yeah.
We want to be diverse. We don't want to be just everyone else and just keep doing the same thing over and over again, because most of it's been done.
Right.
So if we want to go somewhere else, we literally have to be diverse. We don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing.
Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys very much. Oh, I got to give you guys. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We do have a YouTube channel, although I will probably be bouncing this over to that. Look for us a little bit more in the future, especially in support of this album very soon. If we're playing out live, we've had people like from my following, anyways, will come all the way out to go see Altur's Bar of all places. But we're looking for better venues right now. We're looking for, we'll probably end up doing some live streams here as well. So look for us in the future. Guys, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.